Hey Dean and class. So today we're going to be presenting on Nike and their planning for sustainability. My name's Alec.
I'm Emily.
I'm Dan.
So I'm going to start off by doing just kind of a brief overview of the company. Nike's pretty well known, but we'll go and just talk about what they do, where they are. So Nike, what they do is they design, develop, market, and sell athletic footwear, apparel, equipment, accessories, and services worldwide. Where are they located? Their headquarters are in Beaverton, Oregon. Their company mission statement is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world, and then their kind of sub-statement under there is if you have a body, you're an athlete. Their slogan, everyone knows it, just do it. They're also the parent company to Air Jordan, Hurley, and Converse. So Nike is a massive company. They bring in over 20 billion in global revenue everywhere, so they're the largest manufacturer of athletic footwear in the world. They have upwards of 60,000 employees, and about 40,000 of those are full-time. They're a Fortune 500 company, and they're also rated the top footwear and athletic equipment brand in the US, so it just means that they generate the most revenue for both of those things. So often when people think about Nike, they usually think about like sweatshops and child labor before they're going to think about sustainability, but maybe even in response to those issues that happened in the late 1990s, Nike's been trying really hard to be a sustainable company, and they've actually been recognized as one by, they've just received several awards. So, for instance, Morgan Stanley rated them as the most sustainable apparel and footwear company in 2015. The World Wildlife Foundation recognizes them as a leader in sustainable cotton usage. And then at this conference in Switzerland, it's called the World Economic Forum in Davos, it was actually listed, the only company listed alongside Patagonia as a leader in reducing waste within clothing companies. So that's a really big deal to be listed alongside Patagonia. Next slide. So we're going to be talking specifically about one sustainability initiative that Nike focuses on, but I want to briefly overview several other that they have because they have tons. The first one is the Nike Grind program, and essentially that's where Nike collects post-consumer athletic shoes. So those could be shoes that are returned because they've been used up, or ones that are just returned because they're defective, and then they take the materials from those and they use them in basketball courts and the flooring for weight rooms, things like that. Second one is Nike women's board shorts, and those are essentially just shorts for women that are made of 100% recycled polyester, so that saves about 3 plastic bottles. Then there's Color Dry. Color Dry is just a type of clothing or line of clothing that they have where it doesn't take any water to dye the clothing. So it usually takes about 30 liters of water to dye a shirt, but those are kind of unique because they don't use any chemicals or water. Obviously, then they're part of the Green Exchange, which is just a partnership between Nike, several other companies, Best Buy, Mountain Equipment Co-op, and several other companies are part of that. And essentially, that is just an agreement to share intellectual property, and the benefit of that is it helps reduce total costs associated with technology transfer, research and development, and it increases industry convergence. And then the last thing is they have this Sustainability and Business Innovation Lab, which is just a venture capital that backs startups that are focused on alternative energy and efficient approaches to manufacturing. So now, hand it off to Emily.
So I'm going to talk about their sustainable footwear and apparel initiatives. The whole target of this is just to increase the use of sustainable materials in their footwear and apparel specifically. In their mission statement, they bring up zero compromise multiple times, which essentially just talks about how they want to have zero compromise in what they make and make the least impact on the world that they can, as they are a huge company. They do so through a variety of things, including reducing waste, energy usage, and emissions that they create. Just a little bit more of a focus on their sustainability. They use sustainable cotton, recycled rubber, and recycled polyester mainly through their most sustainable initiatives. Through sustainable cotton, they source more organic cotton and try to use recycled cotton. Recycled rubber is used in the majority of their shoes, and recycled polyester is what they use for their Nike Flyknit shoes, which have created 60% less waste in those. Next, why should they practice sustainability? One, they're a huge company, so that they obviously make a large footprint on the world, so that they have a huge chance there to make up for becoming more sustainable. For zero waste, they really see this as a huge thing for their future. As of in 2020, they want to have zero waste in their products. The resources that they do use really take up a lot of energy, emissions, and materials. And then finally, they really want to stay ahead of the game with the initiatives that they already have taken. They want to see the world, and they want the world to see their effort in sustainability and innovation, and especially want others to help take care of the world. And next, Dan is going to talk more about capital and operational budgeting along with some risks.
Alright, so with the budgeting of these sustainable efforts, we'll start with the capital budgeting, which is the more long-term effects. The first one would be the new machinery and technology to turn these materials into recycled to use again into the new products. And then the other one is new factories. They're actually trying to reduce their number of factories, as you notice in this graph right here. In the next, from 16 to 17, they're going to try to reduce their factories from 86 to 91%. So they grade their factories on a scale from red to gold, gold being the best, and then bronze is right in the middle, and that's kind of their code of conduct standards. And they're trying to increase the number of bronze factories from 86 to 91, from 16 to 17. And so with the operational budget, with less factories but more sustainable ones, they will have less employees. And with less employees, they'll have less payroll, which would help their budgeting. And then since they're going to be recycling more materials, they'll be using less new raw materials. They won't have to pay as much on fresh materials. Next slide. So now we'll go into the risks. There's the main three risks are the product risk, supplier, and employee. So with the product risk, if you keep recycling the same materials, like how long will they be good until they can't be used anymore? And then with supplier risk, if they're using more recycled products, they won't need as much new material from suppliers. And then with employee risks, if they're trying to reduce the number of factories, then they'll have less employees. And as you can tell in this graph, this will make it more, their revenues will still go up, but with the less factories and more sustainability, they'll have less employees. And as for the success of this, their 2018 fiscal year earnings will be released this week, but the stock's at an all-time high on Friday, this past Friday, September 21st. So it's obviously having a positive impact on the company with these sustainability initiatives.
All right, so as far as our research went, we felt like we were relatively impressed with all the initiatives that Nike puts towards sustainability, and just we feel like that they're working a lot towards sustainability. Is it genuine? We all kind of agreed it might just be a response to all of the controversy that they faced with child labor and things like that, them trying to clear their bad name. But as a whole, we feel like they're a big company doing some big things, and yeah, we're pretty impressed. So thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate your ear.